Hi, in this second video, I want to teach you something that you can use right now. And I want to share with you how you can get started on your recovery and feeling more resilient going forwards today. So first of all, I know how overwhelming it can be when you're doing the research to try and figure out the bits and pieces related to your health. And I remember in my own healing journey in my 30s and then into my early 40s as big life changes happened where I separated from my husband, I moved country to Central America and was doing a lot of soul searching, just how much I had to learn. And at times I was like, oh my gosh, this is really, it's overwhelming with the learning. And sometimes it feels overwhelming as well when you're at that place where you know you need to change, you need to change some habits, but it's like, again, like how much is it going to take for me to actually really feel better in myself? And is that life of feeling more free, feeling happy, is that just for somebody else? Is it a dream life? And I want to say, no, it's not a dream life, and that you can feel better, and that it isn't going to take anything wild and crazy for you to really feel a lot better in yourself, and ultimately to feel more of the you that you love to feel like, and not to feel as though the you that you love and like is kind of being edged out by all the adult responsibilities and perhaps the illnesses and injuries that you've had along the way. So let me tell you, I've done a lot of research and I bring that together in a way that I hope will be really easy for you to take and assimilate. So let me take that burden away from you, if you'll trust me, and let me share with you something that you can do right now to give you a sense of, here's an exercise that you can do, and here's some empowering knowledge of why this exercise is good to do. But first of all, before we do that, let me just tell you a couple of short things, and then we're going to get to the exercise. So one is that my upcoming program is a 6-week program, and in it I go through 3 steps. I go through the foundations of healing, and then we go into really important nervous system recalibration work, and then we go into a phase of energy rising. And all of this work that we can do together in the program will really help you to recover your zen and your mobility and the feeling of being so much more connected to a freer version of yourself. And so right now, in this moment, I want you to think about the foundations of healing for you. What are the principles? What are the foundations? What are the practices that have worked really well for you? For you to know what you need to go forwards with healing, one of the best things that you can do is actually look to the past, to the experiences and the practices that you have really loved in the past. And just as though we're imagining multicolored threads, and we might choose a turquoise, we might choose a red as our favorite colors. What are the things, the practices that you've had in place that really make you feel alive and make you feel more free? In the mix of what you're doing to recalibrate and set yourself up for feeling more connected to the you that you really love, it's kind of simple. You need to think about the things that you've really enjoyed doing in the past and the things perhaps you've pushed away that you don't have time for. And look at your time ahead and see where that might fit in, where just a little bit of that. Even it might just be watching an inspiring movie with other people who are doing something that inspires and motivates you, or growing a beautiful garden. Perhaps you can get a window box and grow some really nice seeds, or perhaps you can go to the art shop and buy yourself a new journal or a new set of acrylic paints. And of course, my speciality, what I really love, is movement practice, meditation practice, energy movement. And that for me gives me a sense of spaciousness that then spills over into my day. And so it's then what I have to teach you, share with you in connection with a really deep healing practice. So what we're going to do right now as your movement and physiological healing practice is so simple, and it's part of the foundations of healing. So where I'm suggesting that you look at some of the practices that are foundational for you in healing, also know that when you work with me, we start off with the foundations of healing. And in the way that I teach it, we start off looking at this area of the body, the breath, the diaphragm, and the flexibility of this part, the thoracic area, and the rib cage and the lungs, because it is the foundation of helping us to have not just better breath, but here we hold a lot of tension, and it's a very, very deep place that's quite profound to learn to shift, make change. And when we have better movement through here, we also have better digestive health. And we have better movement every time we breathe more fully, especially a longer exhale, which is what I'm about to teach you. We start to massage the organs below the diaphragm, and we release tension from the stomach. We help the kidneys to move up and down more fully, and we help to pump the liver. We help to move the spleen, the pancreas, the small intestine, the large intestine. Everything that lives below the diaphragm is massaged by the diaphragm, which is our primary muscle of breathing when we are breathing well. And for so many of us here at the solar plexus area, which is physical as well as emotional, as well as energetic, it's a place where we can get tight and hold in so much tension. If you imagine back to times in your life where maybe you've been winded and that feeling of not having a full breath, gasping for air, that feeling it often mimics the feeling of stress where we stop breathing well. And over time, the diaphragm movement isn't as free as it was when we were younger. So foundations of healing include, as well as some other things, include good breathing. So right now, exhale. Take a breath in for the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Pause. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's repeat it a few times. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3. Pause. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to take you through it a few times. Breathing in. Pause. And exhale. You can breathe out through pursed lips if you want, or out through your mouth. Inhale. Pause. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this practice is an inhale for the count of 3, pause for the count of 3, exhale for the count of 4. So what we're doing there, as well as pausing for a second, is shifting our body into a healing state. When we exhale longer, we actually shift our neurology more into a parasympathetic state. And the parasympathetic nervous system state is what pairs with the sympathetic nervous system. And the parasympathetic side helps us go into a healing state. It's where we also can actually digest our food better. It's where our muscles can get relaxed. So sometimes when we're pushing, when we're stretching into a really hard stretch, we're pushing ourselves to do a workout just to get rid of the energy. Sometimes we can actually bypass doing those things that are a bit tougher on our body, and we can just shift ourselves into a parasympathetic state with a few tips and practices that I'm going to be teaching you through the course. Now, in the next video, I want to teach you something that is so vital, that I truly believe every woman, if they knew, would feel so much better. And it's something that I have yet to teach publicly, and you can only find it, as far as I know, in my small group programs, and it is nervous system tonic. It is how to shift yourself into the state where you feel light and free as a butterfly. Now, when my little boy, I remember when he was in kindergarten, they had a butterfly release on the last day when they had their little graduation. And they'd had all these cocoons that they'd had for however many weeks. And then the day of the graduation, the butterflies went free, and it was so sweet. And to me, it feels kind of like that. When we shift into what actually is really an inherent state within us, which is light and soft and free. When we can find that, we can feel that within our bodies. It's a kind of cellular, physical sense of expansion and lightness, where the tension and the stress fall away. And we can start to shift our day to actually have more of those moments. So sure, we're not going to be saints. We're not going to be perfect people. We're going to get angry at times. We're going to get sick at times. There's always going to be the moments, plenty of moments in life, where the administration of adult life, where the parenting, where the being a partner, getting the meal ready for yourself at whatever point of the day, where your work obligations, all of that, it still exists, but it doesn't need to overtake. There are practices that can mean that more and more during your day, you feel the lightness of you and this part of you that you love to feel. And so in the next video, you're going to learn a 15-minute practice that you can use to shift out of that state where you're bracing, where you're feeling the tension of responsibility. So that's what's coming in the third video. And then the program I have to offer, the registration will be opening really soon. And hopefully you're on the early bird wait list and you'll get an opening, you'll get availability to register, the opportunity to register is what I'm trying to say, a day before it goes live to the public. Because as you know, I only work with small groups of women. So I keep my classes to a maximum of 12 students in any one class. So that's not a lot. And it's not a lot because it's really important to me that I can get connected with you, know what you need, and give you that in the program so that I can tweak and tailor and send you the right videos and the video libraries that I have, as well as during our live classes where we meet once, sometimes twice a week in person, over Zoom, of course. So stay tuned and let's connect. And the next video is really, really important. I have a 15-minute practice. And for today, just remember the breathing exercise, super simple. Count of 3, in, pause for 3, exhale for 4. Try and do it for 90 seconds to 2 minutes, just sporadically putting it through the day, knowing that when you do that, you shift your body into a parasympathetic healing state so that you start to get calm, you start to get better movement through your diaphragm, which gives you better resilience through your chest and your lungs, and better resilience and health through your gut as well. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.